there's this massive disparity between like the current state of the world, which is totally fragmented liquidity. You'll go on Solana and you'll see 10 different USDC versions. To move them becomes very hard. So maybe you have like 5 billion on Ethereum and 2 billion on Avalanche and 1 billion on this other chain. And like you want, for some reason, there's like now large demand on one. Like getting those from chain A to chain B becomes hard and onerous. And you have all these third-party bridges that are, again, charging external fees. So you're either like getting this wrapped asset where the asset carries risk and you have this massive fragmentation, or you're paying this, again, 6, 8, 10, 12 BIP fee basically to move the asset, which again can be like reasonably onerous. Like end users are fine in general. Like it's okay because that's relative to the world. But like if you're striving for maximum capital efficiency, you have to be able to move that cheaper. And so that really is like the goal of OFTs is like, hey, listen, if you have direct contract to contract communication, you already have everything that you need, right? You have like, you know the total supply, and basically you're just propagating where it lives. So I call this elastic supply, right? So you can have a billion tokens, and it doesn't matter if they're all on Ethereum or if they're spread out everywhere. The only constraint is that there's a total of 1 billion. Where they actually live is fully elastic. And so like for stable coins now with OFT, what effectively happens is, again, you burn on one, you take the receipt of that burn and how many tokens you burn, and you present it to another chain and you mint the equivalent amount there. So the total supply stays the same, but the liquidity itself has moved. Now, rather than having, a billion on each chain, maybe you have 2 billion on one and, 500K on each of the other two. And so what this allows is for you to move, again, near unlimited amount. So imagine moving, $1 billion of USDC from Solana to Avalanche for literally a couple of cents, right? For like 10 cents or something. Now you're paying near nothing. And if you can do that, now if you can move between those two chains, especially two like fast finality chains with near zero friction or cost, well, now you can, as like market makers or market participants, can now like arb spreads at like sub-cent spreads, right? Like now the markets between the two become unbelievably efficient because the ease of like moving the capital itself becomes incredibly easy. So I think that was like the beginning goal is like, how do you make the ideal state of this asset? How do you actually win when every other asset is fragmented liquidity, very hard to move, like just sort of like supply is latent and sitting places where it doesn't want to be, but it can't get out of there because of like the process where you're paying all these external fees. Like the assets who move in this direction are just going to win over time because that like all of that value will be sort of like retained into the markets. And so with BTCB was Avalanche had launched this Bitcoin version, right? Which basically is a bridge between Bitcoin itself and Avalanche. So they had their own bridge there that basically mints and redeems Bitcoin. So you send Bitcoin, get BTCB on Avalanche, burn BTCB, and get Bitcoin back on Bitcoin. And so their partnership with us was basically, let's take this BTCB version to every chain. And that's exactly what they did. So now BTCB is an OFT. It's on almost every layer 0 enabled chain. It's on Aptos. And you can do exactly what I'm talking about. You can basically move unlimited BTCB to any chain for effectively just the cost of gas. Zero fees, zero transaction fees, etc.